Hello, welcome to part 2 of substitution. We just finished this problem in the previous video and it's time to move on to another example. There's a couple more we need to do, things for you to see, for me to be comfortable with what you need to know to be able to work through these problems. So put a dotted line there, and it's probably best actually if you can start the next problem on a new page. So if you would copy that down into your notes, example 2. I'm going to grab a pen here. 3x plus 2y equals 4 and x equals 6y minus 7. Now let's recopy it here in the middle. And the second equation, x equals 6y minus 7. Now if we just pick up from where we left off, notice in this particular system of equation, I'm going to label this first equation 1 and this one 2, by the way, just so I can refer to it for you. You don't have to do that when you're doing your homework, but I'm going to do that just for the purpose of the notes. What I want to do here is make an observation that equation number 2 has x all by itself, but equation 1 does not. All right, and because of that, I can go ahead and solve this right away because x is the only isolated variable. That's going to be the one that I'm going to use to substitute. Now this needs to be written down in your notes as well. I'm just trying to keep the video moving along, so hit pause if you need to get that down. But what I mean by that is because we know that x is, remember equal sign is like the word is, x is 6y minus 7. Well, that means that I can take this, since x is the same thing as 6y minus 7, I'm going to take that 6y minus 7 and substitute it in for that x there. Now in this problem I have to do it that way because that is the only variable that's isolated. You have to have one variable isolated to do substitution. Well, since that's the case, I'm going to replace this x with 6y minus 7. And I have 3, now notice this parenthesis, 6y minus 7. You have to put the parentheses in there because the entire 6y minus 7 is being multiplied by 3 in that problem, plus 2y equals 4. All right, so the first thing I did here was substitute. Substitute the x. Substitute, I can't write very well this morning. Substitute x in there. So I have this new problem where I have put this x value into that equation. Now I need to go through the process and solve. So the first thing I have to do is simplify. All right, so I'm going to solve for y in this problem here. Solve for y. So we distribute the 3, that's 18y, minus 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2y is equal to 4. All right, now what I want to do is simplify both sides. 18y and 2y, since those are like terms, I can combine those into 20y minus 21, and that's equal to 4. And now we're going to solve this. I'm going to add 21 to both sides. Solve this for y. You have 20y is equal to 25. And we're almost there. 20y is equal to 25, so we're going to divide both sides by 20 and have y is equal to 25 over 20, and we need to reduce that. You should see a common factor of 5. That's equal to 5/4. Okay, so y is equal to 5/4. Okay, so that's my solution for y. So now use y equals 5/4 to find x. Alright, so the way we learned in the previous video is we take this 5/4 and we replace it into either one of these two equations. From the beginning, here were my first equations, so we're going to replace that 5/4 in there. Okay, replace or substitute. Just say sub. So I have 5/4 is y, so I'm going to pick equation number 2. And the reason I want to pick equation number 2 is x is isolated and I'm trying to find x. So it would be easiest just to plug 5/4 into this y and solve it for x. Okay, so x equals 6 times y, which is 5/4, plus, and I forgot what it was added to there, or I'm sorry, minus 7. I'll just say plus -7 is the same thing. So we have to just work this out now. 6 times 5/4, well, let's see, that is 6 times 5 is 30 over 4 plus -7. All right, so to add my fractions here, I have to get a common denominator of fourths. I have 30/4 plus -7 times 4 is -28 over 4. So we add those together. Almost done. Here, I need a little more room. X is equal to 30 plus -28 is 2. The denominator is 4. So x is equal to 1/2. And there you found the solutions. Okay, so the solution to this system is x is 1/2, y is 5/4. And again, this is why we have to have a way to solve these systems other than graphing, because in graphing, again, if we had two lines intersecting at that point, most likely we would not be able to know for sure. We'd have to kind of guess on that. So I think what I'm going to do is, this is under 7 minutes. I'm going to stop this and make one more video for the next problem, just because they take so much time, and then we'll call that good. So we'll stop here and start video 3 next.